Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we have a loaded show here because are the Bulls possibly not trading Alex Caruso? K.C. Johnson, a Bulls insider, had an interesting quote on that situation, so we'll dive into that. Then also, Raptors, Bulls. There's a very interesting trade idea that really favors the Bulls, so stick around to the end. This is just floated out there on the internet, and Heavy.com got a hang of it. So we're going to be diving into that. LaVine heading to Toronto, see what the Bulls could get back. But, guys, before we dive into it all, we are still in this sub battle with our Heat Report channel. We picked up over probably about 100 subs the last 2 days, so shout out to you guys, and I really do appreciate it. But if you guys just want to stay on top of all the latest Bulls news, rumors, whatever it may be around this basketball team, we obviously all know that fire sale is coming eventually, so stay on top of all the latest reports. We got you covered. Hit that sub button. Really, really does help us out. But let's kick it to K.C. Johnson here because he does these mailbags every once in a while when he writes for NBC Sports Chicago. And somebody asked him just what is the latest around Alex Caruso, and he said this. He said, all I can say is I've reported they've been hesitant to do so to this point. Now, that obviously can change between now and the February 8th trade deadline, and there likely will be solid offers for Caruso, who is the perfect over-the-top piece for championship contending teams. Totally agree. Then he followed on to say this. There's also a scenario in which, in order to trade LaVine, Caruso may have to be included. But Caruso is arguably the regime's greatest success story, and he is the perfect embodiment of the culture the franchise wants to project. Trading him would be painful for this management team. I can assure you that. And I totally agree. Caruso is the definition of a winning basketball player. The stat sheet isn't going to blow you away. Like, he's never averaged over double-digit points in his NBA career, but he does things on both sides of the floor that is just winning basketball. And, you know, we always talk about him being a great point-of-attack defender, probably the best wing defender in the league, but I feel like he is so undervalued and underrated on the offensive side of the floor. Yes, he is shooting, 47% from deep this year, but he just makes extra passes. He's a good cutter. He just does the little things and just kind of like the junkyard dog work offensively that a lot of people, don't really think about when they think of just kind of being a winning player on offense. Caruso does it. But I do want to kick it to Kevin Durant here because, listen, I always love seeing other NBA superstars comment on role players, and this was after Caruso and KD had that battle where Caruso, frankly, just locked him up and played one of his best games of his NBA career. KD said this, he's a phenomenal player. I don't even want to call him a role player, but just a guy that you can plug with any lineup, and he's going to make the right reads, the right plays on the defensive and offensive end. And it kind of gets me to this point. I really do believe the Bulls could land 2 first-round picks for Caruso. A report came out last trade deadline that the Dallas Mavericks denied 2 first-round picks for Dorian Finney-Smith. We have seen teams overpay once that deadline comes around. Because think about it. If you're a championship contending team and you think you just need one more piece, like K.C. Johnson was saying, to get you over the hump, Caruso is 100% that guy. And listen, this season, he's having an unreal year, man. I mean, these stats are out of this world. It's just efficiency that obviously stands out the most. But, I mean, him shooting 47.7% from downtown this year on around 3 attempts per game. I mean, that is just the ideal role player you want on your ball club. So if you're the Boston Celtics, if you're a team like the Knicks, if you're a team like the Heat, you can say, we could go get Caruso. I guarantee you a team will overpay for him and maybe offer you, maybe it's one unprotected first and then maybe a lottery protected first as well. Because, listen, if I was a GM in the National Basketball Association right now, getting Caruso on my ball club would 100% be the right move. But I'll ask you guys, do you want to trade Alex Caruso? I'm assuming, just hearing, do you want to trade Caruso? A lot of you guys are saying no, but what if it is for 2 firsts? What if you could get a first and a young player? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Why for yes and for no if you would trade Alex Caruso. All right, guys, coming up here in a second, we got this wild Bulls-Raptors trade idea where it has obviously the Raptors getting Zach LaVine and the Bulls getting an absolute haul. We'll dive into that in a second, but I do want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Factor. If you go to factormeals.com/NBA-chat50, you guys will get 50% off. Factormeals.com/NBA-chat50 is the link for that deal. Listen, guys, I love Factor. It is just these prepaid or pre-made meals that just honestly just are prepped and cooked to perfection. All you got to do is heat up, eat, and enjoy. If you're too busy with holiday plans to cook but want to make sure you're eating well, with Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are just ready in 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from 35 plus weekly flavored, packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. I just got my Factor meals a couple days ago, and I absolutely love them. They're so easy, coming off a long, hard work day, just to put those right in the microwave, and they taste great. It tastes like you're eating out whenever you go to your favorite restaurant or whatever. I absolutely love Factor. If you guys head to factormeals.com/NBAchat50, you guys will get 50% off with the code NBAchat50. So make sure you guys do take advantage. I absolutely love Factor. It's one of my favorite things to do at the end of each day. So head to factormeals.com/NBAchat50 and use code NBAchat50 to get 50% off. That's code NBAchat50 at factormeals.com/NBAchat50 to get 50% off. So this is the wild trade idea. This was floated out there on the internet, and then Heavy.com got a hang of it, and they said this is a likely move for the Chicago Bulls. Listen, I'll dive into my thoughts here in a second, but this was the haul. They would get Precious Achiuwa, Chris Boucher, Gradey Dick, love him, he's a tremendous basketball player, Gary Trent, and then 2 first-round picks here. So you're getting a young piece, 2 first-round picks. Actually, you're getting 3 young pieces, and I love Gary Trent. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the league, and the Bulls are only giving up Zach LaVine and Terry Taylor. You're also getting 2 first-round picks. Kind of very confusing. We'll break it down, but I do want to kick it to Dan Faville. He works for Bleacher Report. He was the one that actually dropped this trade idea, and it's just wild, man. He said neither the Bulls nor LaVine seems like they want their relationship to last any longer. Yeah, exiting any trade with 2 firsts, a recent lottery pick, and a smattering of short-term contracts is a win for the Bulls at this point. Yeah, it would 100% be a win for the Bulls. If you're getting 2 firsts and just a recent lottery pick in Gradey Dick, sign me up any day of the week, and I am taking that. And listen, we all know with these Zach LaVine rumors, there was a report from Bobby Marks where it's like, could the Bulls even get 1 first-round pick for him? Like, what's really his value? I mean, Bobby Marks also said he thinks Caruso has a higher trade value than a guy like LaVine, but then you got the opposite end of the spectrum where you can think guys like, I see Dan Faville, who writes for Bleacher Report, thinks the Bulls could still get a haul for obviously Zach LaVine. But the one dude I want to focus in on, if the Bulls were to make this trade, they'd obviously be getting Gradey Dick. And I'm a huge fan of his game. That kind of long, tall wing who is a tremendous shooter. Like, that is the one thing that stuck out in his college days. And even when he was playing summer league ball, man, like, he could really shoot the ball. And honestly, an underrated playmaker. I know he only averaged 1.7 assists in his college career, but he is a sneaky playmaker. He makes the right reads, and he is just plays the game the right way. Like, typical kind of chalk answer for you, but I'm just a big fan of his game. If the Bulls could get him and 2 first-round picks, I am all in. But why would the Raptors want to do this? Like, look at what you're giving up. And I understand, Zach LaVine is that kind of score that they need. I think if you look at like the Raptors roster, they're all kind of the same archetype of player where it's these really long, like just very athletic slashing wing defenders. So maybe adding LaVine to that mix would be, beneficial for that ball club. But the Raptors have been off to a tough start this year, so I don't really know if they would do this. But I'll tell you what, they would have a pretty nasty big 4. And I will say they would complement each other very, very well. I love OG. I love Scotty Barnes. I love Siakam. We've actually talked about these guys a lot here on the channel. But if you're looking at this big 4, you take LaVine. You got a 3-level scorer. He can get it done from any spot on the floor. He can pull up from 35. He can get downhill. He is just a tremendous offensive basketball player. Then you got Scotty Barnes and OG, the typical young 3-and-D players in the league who really have a ton of potential. Scotty's actually shown tremendous development just putting the ball on the ground this year. He's really impressed me. So pairing him up with those 2, and then plus you have the slasher in Siakam. I understand this is a haul for the Raptors, but their big 4 would be pretty good. But again, does it get them over the top? Can they compete with the Celtics, Sixers, and obviously the Bucks in the East? Probably not, but they would probably be a top 5 team in the East. I'd put them right around there with the Heat and the Knicks if they would pull this trade off, just because, man, that big 4 one of the best in the league. But from the Bulls side of things, would you accept this trade? A for accept, D for decline. Bulls are obviously getting Precious Chua, Chris Boucher, Gradey Dick, Gary Trent Jr., and 2 first-round picks. This is honestly a trade. I think both sides maybe say yes. So give me an A for accept or a D for decline. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Just kind of want to wrap this up. The Bulls' ideal scenario heading into the trade deadline, obviously they got a lot of dudes that are going to be on the block. Like even a guy like Vooch, who we haven't really talked about too much, but we've heard the Athletic came out and said the Knicks and the Heat are very interested in DeMar, and DeMar might be interested in them as well. It's going to come down to if teams start to get desperate. If a team like the Knicks, let's just say they start playing very well down the stretch here, and they say, all right, LaVine, DeRozan, those are the pieces we need to get us over the top. Or even a team like the Heat, maybe they think Caruso is that guy, or DeRozan, or LaVine, like I've been mentioning, are those guys to get them over the top. That's when that desperation sets in. And listen, these GMs in the NBA, they're always over-aggressive. You always overpay for the superstar. It's just been kind of how it's been going. Even Rudy Gobert. We look at that trade a couple off seasons ago, 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. And I'll tell you what, it's paid off for the Timberwolves. And they gave up 5 first-round picks, and now they're at the top of the Western Conference. Teams are going to get desperate, and I'm kind of hoping maybe those teams at the top of each conference, like the Nuggets, obviously the Bucks and the Celtics, maybe they come back to reality a little bit, and those other kind of mid-level teams are like, man, if we get one more piece, maybe we'll go throw the Bulls 3 firsts for LaVine, 2 firsts for Caruso, whatever it may be, but definitely, that is definitely the Bulls' ideal scenario, is a team getting desperate, even maybe like the Raptors. But, guys, I am on Twitter talking about the Bulls all season long, and obviously with the trade deadline soon. If you guys just want more Bulls content on your Twitter feed, give me a follow. Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Remember to subscribe, and always, go Bulls.